On this week's episode of Low Country Cowboys, first Hunter and I helped some yearling fillies get ready for their first photo shoot. It's not as easy as we expected, but hey, we managed to get the job done. Next, we're off to help the guys at the cow camp pin and sort some young cows. Never a dull moment around there. Be sure and stick around to see my 7-year-old son, Mac, and join him on his first day on the job cowboying. All those adventures and more right here on this episode of Low Country Cowboys. Our primary job here is taking care of young horses. That means that we've got to feed them and keep them healthy and make sure they've got clean water and make sure that they get gentle enough where they can be around people. And sometimes that includes getting them ready to get their picture taken. And those days are always fun. It's kind of like a bunch of kindergartners waiting to get their picture taken. We had to run these fillies up into our little traps out here, which usually works pretty good, but some days they just don't want to cooperate. They were having a lot of fun running around there. Some of them wanted to be in my back pocket and some of them didn't want to be touched at all. So, you know, some of them we just walked right up and put the halter on them, and a couple others we had to rope, and some of them were a mixture of in between. But by the end of the day, we got them all brushed out and bathed and got their pictures taken. And it was an adventure, but thank goodness nobody got hurt. I think we got one there. Oh yeah, for sure. You know, one of the highlights of this job is to get these young horses outside and give them a job to do. And getting behind some cattle is a great way to do that. It's what they were designed to do, and they just take to it like a duck to water. This time of year, it's hot. I mean, it really gets hot. And when we're dealing with cattle, it's real important that we get out there and get the job done as close to sunup as possible. This ranch has always raised and trained good cutting horses, both for use here on the ranch and for competition. Cutting has its roots in ranch work, and when it comes to moving, sorting, pinning, and doctoring cattle, nothing is more efficient than a good quarter horse. Cattle just work better with horses. Maybe it's because they recognize another four-legged vegetarian when they see one. Now, it's a big job, but essentially all we need to do is get this group of cows up, get them sorted and divided, keep them with their calves, and then haul them out to separate parts of the ranch so that they can go and live with other groups of cows. Today we're going to try to work 3 different horses, and they're all at 3 different levels of their training. We've got Lucky, who's just a 2-year-old who's just getting started. We've got Fritz, who's probably just going to be a ranch horse. He's a 3-year-old. And then we've got Share Some, and Share Some is a 4-year-old who might have a show career off in the future. So we'll get to see, you know, how all of it sort of comes together. I like to do a good bit of groundwork with these 2-year-olds, especially before I work cattle with them, because it settles their mind, and it gets their body parts sort of isolated and freed up, and gets the fresh off of them, so they don't have so much pent-up energy. We burn off some of that excess energy and get them mentally prepared at the same time. And this is a good way to do it. Now Lucky's just a 2-year-old, and he obviously, since he's just 2, he hasn't had a whole heck of a lot of training. And he's seen cattle a couple of times, but not a lot, and he hasn't pulled any cattle out of the herd. This is kind of a big step in his career, because there's a lot of pressure added on here. And I think he can handle it. He's a good, quiet little gelding. He's got a great mind, but we'll see. We go when the cow goes, we stop when the cow stops, we turn when the cow turns. Now I want to pick cattle for Lucky that suit his abilities. I don't want to pick something that's just too fast and too aggressive for him. I want cattle that are kind of slower, that are going to respect him, because it's real easy to shatter a young horse's confidence at this stage of the game. Now Lucky doesn't know a lot. All we're really looking for today is for him to understand that he's supposed to stay with the cow. And if we can get that done, we'll be in pretty good shape. Oh boy, that was kind of a big move for Lucky there. I just couldn't be happier with the way Lucky went out there and worked that cow. I mean, he just saw that thing and he grabbed onto it, and he went over there and he stopped and he came back with it, and he did a lot of that stuff on his own. That's really what we're looking for. Now Fritz is just going to be a ranch horse. He doesn't have to go out there and, you know, work a cow like a show horse might, but I like for my ranch horses to show off their talents and their abilities. Fritz is going to be a good one. What I want him to do is be able to walk into the herd quietly and softly and sort out a particular cow. Stay with that cow. Now I won't expect Fritz to work a cow the same way that a show horse might, but hey, if he can go out there and get the job done, you know, and get that cow sorted off and put where we want to put him, that's the fundamentals. That's what we're looking for. So when this cow moves off to my right, I just ask the horse to go with it. When it stops, I ask my horse to stop. When it turns, I expect him to turn. If it goes faster, I expect him to speed up. Now Share Some is a 4-year-old horse that we've got, and she's got the breeding and hopefully the talent to go on and have a successful show career. I'm no cutting horse trainer. I hope that I can do a good job for her. Now in a cutting horse competition, it's illegal, or there are point deductions for helping your horse with the reins. So I'm going to let her do as much of this job as she can by herself. I'm only going to pick up my reins to correct her. Right there, I needed her to come back. There, that wasn't bad. I gotta let Share Some go out there and work a little bit, and she's making mistakes. She's a little bit late on moving with these cattle. It's okay, I'm not gonna pick on her too much about it right now, but I sure hope she picks it up later on. That's pretty good, that's pretty good. She's a little bit late coming across there. That was better. Real good. That was real good. Share Some finished up really good today. I really can't complain. You know, for a horse with no more experience than she's got, she went out there and she really did her best to stop that cow. That's all I can ask for. Riding these young horses is hard work, both physically and mentally. Even the most experienced trainers struggle sometimes. So Hunter signed on about 5 or 6 months ago to be the assistant trainer here, and I really don't think that he knew what he was getting into, but he's doing a great job. Just track this steer around, all right? Spread your hands way apart. When he's up there in position, just imagine that you're gonna rope him. And when your horse is up in position, you take all the pressure off, okay?
I've been a bull rider ever since I was little. I started training some roping horses, and now I'm training cutting horses, and it is totally different. I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm learning as I go, and the horses are working, so I guess I'm doing something right.
Good, good. Just stay right there with him. That's real good. Hustle him right back up into position. Good, good. A huge part of what we expect these horses to do later on in their careers is to do certain jobs on their own without too much assistance. And tracking a cow around is one of those things. So what I'm trying to get Hunter to do is just to let that horse track that cow on his own. When the horse figures it out and Hunter figures it out, it's gonna be awesome. That's real good, Hunter. That's really good. I know you can feel that. Now that steer's kind of wanting to come to a stop, so I just want you to fade out to the left, okay, far enough away and get in that steer's eye where he does stop. There, now just let your, there you go, pet him, pet him. Pet him real, just good boy, there you go, good. So the whole concept behind training these young horses is a pressure and release system. We apply pressure, and then when the horse gets exactly where we want him to be, we release all that pressure. And that's where they really learn. Some of the fondest memories that I have from my childhood were getting to go to work with my dad horseback. They were really special experiences. It's always been a dream of mine to be able to share that with my kids. The great thing about this job is that I get to do that fairly regularly. And today, I brought my son Mac to work with me. We went out and gathered a little group of steers. And it wasn't a big job, but it meant a lot to him, and it really meant a lot to me. It was kind of like my dad was looking over my shoulder, and I was carrying on the tradition that he started when I was a kid.